Hi, Longhorn friends and families. I hope you're all well and safe and enjoying your time with your families. I decided because I miss everyone, and I'm sure everyone misses the Longhorn Morganton Road community, that I wanted to share a read aloud each and every day of our time away from each other. So, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we are going to read Clever Tom and the Leprechaun, uh, one of my favorite St. Patrick's stories. So, here we go, and I hope you enjoy our read aloud. Clever Tom and the Leprechaun by Linda Shute. One fine day, on Lady Day in the harvest, Tom Fitzpatrick took a ramble down the lane. Click, clack, click, clack. He heard through the hedge. So Tom tiptoed closer to take a look. The clacking sound stopped when Tom peeped through the bushes, and in the shadow, what did he see? Why, a big gallon pitcher and a teeny tiny man with a brown leather apron and a three-cornered hat. Up the small man climbed, and on his wee wooden stool, and dipped his little piggin into the crock. Then he settled down with his full mug beside him to hammer on the heel of a fairy-sized shoe. By the powers, thought Tom, it's a leprechaun. If I catch him and scare him, he'll give me his gold. Since I'm clever fellow, that should be simple. Before the sun sets, I'll have my fortune made. Tom stared at the leprechaun and tried not to blink. He knew that if he looked away, the old man would escape. Then he crept up quite near and tipped his hat politely, saying, "Good day to you, neighbor. Blessings on your work." "Thank you kindly," said the small one, but he never looked up. He just kept on tapping at the heel piece of the brogue. Tom moved his hand closer while he smiled very sweetly and said, "Today's a holiday. You shouldn't have to work." The leprechaun frowned and answered Tom sharply, "If I do, that's my business and none of your own. Instead of pestering me, young man, you ought to be watching your father's fields. Look there, the cows have broke into their oats. See, they're knocking the corn all about." Cows in the cornfield? Tom's head started turning. But he wasn't fooled by the leprechaun's trick. Quickly, he grabbed the sly fellow and cried, "Now you're my prisoner. Tell me, where is your gold?" The leprechaun wiggled and twisted and whined, "I'm just a poor man." But Tom held him fast. "You and I both know you're lying," said Tom, and he made a fierce, frightening face. Finally, the leprechaun quit squirming and said, "Tom Fitzpatrick, you're too clever for me. I see you are after my buried treasure, so I'll have to show you where it's hid." With his eye on the bitty man locked in his fist, Tom followed where the leprechaun led him. He traipsed over a hill and under some hedges, and through a ditch and across a peat log. At last, just when Tom feared he'd been hoodwinked, he found himself in a great field of weeds. "Dig there," said the leprechaun, pointing to a bush. "Deep under that bullion is where I put my gold." "Thunderation," said Tom. "I need to fetch my spade, but when I return I'll be lost. There are 40 acres of bullions here, and each plant looks just like the other." Still watching the leprechaun, Tom figured out a plan. He tied his bright red garter on the bush. "Swear, you old rascal, that you won't take this off while I run back to get my spade." "That I will promise you," the little man said. Tom grinned, knowing leprechauns always kept their word. "Now, since I have shown you where my treasure is, I don't suppose you'll need me any more." "No," said Tom, "my fortune's made. You may go, and good luck with you." Then goodbye, Tom Fitzpatrick, said the leprechaun. May you do much good with what you find. Away Tom ran so as fast as he could, figuring how he'd spend the gold. Then back he came with his shovel in his hand, back to the field of bullions. But when he got there, lo and behold, a garter, just like his own, was tied to each and every bush as far as he could see. He tied a garter to each and every one. Tom dug under the bullion where he thought he'd tied his garter, but nothing was buried under that bush. So he dug under another. He dug to the east and he dug to the west, and still he found no treasure. The harvest moon rose as he dug to the north, and it set as he dug southward. When the sun came up, Tom saw he dug 100 holes. And tired Tom Fitzpatrick knew he couldn't find that gold, so he gave up and headed for home. From then on, Tom always carried his spade, and he never stopped listening for a tapping in the field. Every chance he got, he'd tell how he nearly found the gold. And since I'm a clever fellow, Tom would end his tale, the next time I catch that leprechaun, I'll have my fortune made. The end. I hope you enjoyed that read aloud today. It's one of my favorite St. Patrick's Day books. It really reminds me of what we're doing in class with our leprechaun traps. So I'm hoping they're still in our classroom, and we'll take a look when we get back. I miss you all, and enjoy these next 2 weeks with your families. Bye.